We have several items on the agenda, and we'll begin with resolutions. RS 2013-596, sponsors Matthews. Calls the Metro Board of Equalization into regular session convening June 3rd, 2013, and into special session convening June 24th, 2013. It's been properly moved. Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-597, sponsors Matthews, approves a grant of $1,750 from the After School Corporation to the Mayor's Office of Children and Youth for the After Zone Alliance After School Initiative. It's been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-598, sponsors Matthews, appropriates $25,000 from the Fund for Cities of Service Incorporated to the Mayor's Office for Home Energy Retrofits. Second. Been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-599, sponsors Matthews and Bennett, approves a grant of $40,000 from the Tennessee Administrative Office of the Courts to the State Trial Courts to install video conferencing equipment to replace outdated equipment. Second. Been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-600, sponsors Matthews, Bennett, and Lancaster, approves several amendments to a grant from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to the Metro Fire Department to purchase computer equipment and software. Second. Been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-601, sponsors Potts and Matthews, approves an agreement with the U.S. Department of the Army for a Harpeth River watershed feasibility study. Been properly moved. Did I hear a second? Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-602, sponsors Potts and Matthews, approves an amendment to an agreement between the Metro government and the U.S. Department of the Army for a watershed monitoring study to include the Stones River and J. Percy Priest Dam tributaries at additional cost of $200,000. Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-603, sponsors Matthews and Gilmore, approves a state grant of $7,679 to the Nashville Public Library to purchase e-readers and iPads for 2 pilot programs. Been properly moved and seconded. In discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-604, sponsors Matthews, authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle Metro government's property damage claim against Evan Brown for the amount of $5,461.90. Been properly moved and seconded. In discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-605, sponsors Matthews, authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle Metro government's personal injury claim against Donna Pippins for the amount of $9,325.68. Been properly moved and seconded. In discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-606, sponsors Matthews, authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle Metro government's property damage claim against Courtney Warren for the amount of $11,180.36. Been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-607, sponsors Matthews, authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle the claims of Jenny Gator and Alexa Alvarado against the Metropolitan Government for the amount of $12,500. It's been properly moved and seconded. In discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-608, sponsors Matthews, authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle the claims of Trudy Crow against the Metropolitan Government for the amount of $25,000. It's been properly moved and seconded. In discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Resolution passes. RS 2013-609, sponsors Matthews, authorizes the Department of Law to compromise and settle the personal injury claim of Anna Young and the property damage claim of Nationwide Insurance Company for the total amount of $31,235.13. Been properly moved and seconded. In discussion? Councilman Tiger.
There seems to be some debate as to whether Metro had received notification about this limb. What is the procedure for the government to record these calls and to keep a record of them?
Is anyone from Public Works here that could address that question?
Hello, I'm Mark Macy, Assistant Director of Public Works. All the requests that we come into our 311 call center or through our 862-8750 number are taken by professional telephone operators who work for us, by the way, in South Fifth Street. But they record the call, log these calls into a database where we can track when we got the call, who it was sent to, what action was taken, and if anybody was notified consequently. That answer your question?
Yes, so then the follow-up question then, John, if we don't have notification, where does the liability begin and end?
If Metro did not have notice of the dangerous condition, Metro would have no liability. That was Metro's argument in filing the summary judgment motion. The court, however, determined that there was a factual issue based upon the testimony of this neighbor who said he did call Metro and report it. So instead of going through, risking taking it to trial and leaving it up to a jury,
so using my extensive knowledge of watching NCIS, where they can notify and track calls anytime, years away, and what quadrant and what cell tower it bounced off of, and all this stuff. Do we have access to call records to say, yes, this happened, no, it didn't happen?
I'm not sure if we were able to do that or not, Councilman Tigert. I do know that this particular judge, who would also be the judge that determines the fact, there is no jury in these kind of cases, so this judge will be making the decision as to whether or not we have liability. And given that she tended to believe the testimony of the neighbor who made the complaint, we felt that we had a pretty small chance of prevailing at trial. So
well, that's why having a call record, would be the definitive proof rather than taking the word of somebody or another. I'm just wondering, does the government have the right to pull phone records? And if there's a legal case?
We can subpoena, especially if we have the consent. This is a third-party witness, so it'll be a little bit more difficult to get their consent to pulling their telephone records. But that's really not a bad idea. So I don't know if we did that or not, frankly. We didn't. Come to the mic, Cindy.
Good afternoon. I'm Cynthia Gross. I was representing Metro in this lawsuit. Mr. Williams did not recall the specific time frame in which he made this call, so the search of phone records would not have been fruitful or available. Did
he claim that it had been months before, or just Was there no specific time period?
There was no specific time period, which I pointed out in our motion for summary judgment. But again, why we're bringing this and recommending the settlement is that the plaintiff has agreed to settle the claim for strictly the cost of her medical bills. If we were to lose at trial, if the court found that there was this phone call made and we had notice, she would be entitled to pain and suffering, which can be many times the medical bills. So why we're recommending the settlement is that it would be strictly the cost of her medical bills, and the property damage claim they've compromised for about half of the cost that we would have to pay if we lost at trial. But we did articulate to the judge that there was no specific time frame. The testimony was just simply that he did call prior to the tree falling.
Okay. And since the door has been opened, the question about pain and suffering, I appreciate that, Cindy.
You're welcome.
This is one of these conversations we've had before. So somebody gets hurt by Metro creating the accident, they get pain and suffering. Some of our policemen get hurt by somebody else doing something. We don't get pain and suffering?
That's correct. Cindy, do you want to
Sure.
elaborate on that?
The employee would be allowed to file their own personal injury lawsuit, and then if they did pursue that, they would be entitled to pain and suffering. But as far as from Metro's ability to recover, we're only able to recover specifically the amount that we paid out.
Would Metro represent that, or would they have to have private legal counsel?
No, they would have to pursue their own personal injury lawsuit, but that does happen often, and then we, as Metro, file an intervening complaint, it's called, and just assert as an additional plaintiff that we want to recover the cost of their medical bills or the property damage, the amount of money that Metro was out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Tiger. Seeing no other discussion, all in favor? All opposed? Resolution passes. Now we're on to bills on second reading. BL 2013-382, sponsors Matthews and Gilmore, relinquishes Metro government's interest in the old Green Hills Branch Library property. Been properly moved and seconded. Councilman Garrett.
Mr. Chairman, I know there's a lot of folks that have been interested in this particular project. I would just like to ask John and Mr. Chairman that this thing says that it will be done in 18 months or so. And Rich, this is a good thing. I mean, everybody seems to be really excited about it. And I just would like a report to those members of the council that have been around for a while to know that this has been done, and the folks that are involved with the archives feel good about it. The administration feels good about it, and that it's something that'll be there after we're gone, and that I think in 18 months we'll still be here. This administration and all will still be here, and you know, we could brag on you a little bit about it, is what it amounts to, but just want to make sure that it gets done and that it's done to suit everybody.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman Garrett. Seeing no other discussion, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Bill passes, and that brings our Budget and Finance Committee meeting to an adjournment.